Great day, everyone, and welcome to our virtual class in BAM 6304 Business Research. Today is week 4 of our trimester, and we will be discussing about marketing feasibility. At the end of the session, the student should be able to understand what is demand and how to do demand analysis. Understand what is supply and how to do supply analysis, and be able to describe the relationship between supply and demand. First and foremost, we have to define the terms. So demand. Demand refers to how much of the product, item, commodity, or service consumers are willing and able to purchase at a particular price. So it means how much of the product or service the buyers desire to have from the market. Ito yung kanilang need, ito yung gusto nilang bilhin. So gaano karami, yan ang demand. On the other hand, when we talk about supply, it refers to how much of a certain product, item, commodity, or service suppliers are willing to make available at a particular price. So ilan ba ang dapat nilang i-manufacture na goods? Ilan ba ang kailangan nilang i-produce? Ilan ang kailangan nilang ibenta para sa mga tao? So that is supply. So how much the producers of a product or service are willing to produce and can provide to the market with their limited amount of resources available. Yeah. So when we talk about demand and supply analysis, it is the relationship between the quantity of a commodity that producers wish to sell at various prices and the quantity that consumers wish to buy. Yan. Kapag mataas ang demand, dapat ang supply mataas din to meet the demand. So what happens kung mataas ang demand, mababa ang supply? Ano mangyayari kapag mababa ang demand at ang supply naman ang mataas? So we have to analyze both demand and supply. So the relationship between the quantity of a commodity that producers wish to sell at various prices and the quantity that consumers wish to buy. Pag-usapan natin ang law of demand. So ang ibig sabihin ng law of demand states that if all other factors remain equal, the higher the price of a good, the fewer people will demand that good. In other words, the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. So they are opposite. Pag mataas ang price, bumababa ang demand. Pero din naman, kung mababa ang price, tumataas ang demand. The amount of a good that buyers purchase at a higher price is less because as the price of a good goes up, so does the opportunity cost of buying that good. Remember, di ba tayo, bago tayo bumili, kapag medyo mahal, magdadalawang isip tayo out of budget. Ay, kung buwaba na siya, affordable na, pwede na nating bilhin. As a result, people will naturally avoid buying a product that will force them to forgo the consumption of something else they value more. For example, isang branded versus sa hindi branded na goods. So for example, it's a clothing, it's a t-shirt. Magkano original na Guess t-shirt? 700, 900 pesos. Eh samantalang dito sa Divisoria, yung 900 ko, pwede akong makabili ng 3, 4 na piraso. So, isipin din natin yon. Yung mentality ng papaano ba sila nagde-demand? Ano ba yung demand? Ano ba yung gustong bilhin ng tao? So, bitin natin ha, ang law of demand, the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. Inversely proportional sila. So, the lower the price, the higher the quantity demanded. So, what are the factors affecting demand? There are many factors affecting demand. Una-una, consumer preference among different goods are the most important determinant of demand. Kunyari, mahilig akong mag-shopping Gusto ko ng mga branded goods. O yun ang preference ko. Mahilig akong kumain sa labas. So marami akong gusto ko ng mga food. Yan. So yun ang important na determinant ng demand. Gusto ko ng pizza. Gusto ko ng hamburger. Ano ba ang preference ko sa hamburger? Jollibee, McDonald's, Brothers Burger, Army Navy, o depende yan sa consumer preference kung ano yung gusto nilang kainin. Number 2, the existence and prices of other goods that are substitutes or complementary products can modify demand. So kung may substitute, kaya mahilig ako sa pizza, pero wala akong makitang pizza house. Meron ako nakita burger house. Oh, pwede na rin yun. Substitute sa nagugutom ako eh. Wala akong makitang pizza, hamburger, and siguro pasta. Yes, substitutes or complementary. Changes in conditions that influence consumer preferences can also be significant, such as seasonal change or the effects of advertising. Yun, meron mga changes. For example, kasama rin dito yung mga fads, fashion. Ano ba ang uso? Kapag ang isang produkto ay uso ngayon, maraming bibili yan. Pero kapag nalaus na yan, nababawasan na ang demand. So, depende sa conditions. So, seasonal change. Kapag seasonal, for example, ng mangga. So, mura ang mga mangga. Kasi affected by season. O hindi ngayon na panahon ng mangga, may makita ko ng mangga, mahal. So, it affects. So, yung preference ng tao. And also, depende sa advertising. Changes in incomes can also be important in either increasing or decreasing quantity demanded at any given price. O kapag malaki ang income mo, malaki ang pwede mong gastusin. Mababa ang income, mababa ang pwede mong gastusin. So kapag mataas, marami kang budget na pwedeng ipangbili. Kapag medyo walang gaanong income, konti lang din. So it affects the demand. While different variables play different roles in influencing the demands for different goods and services, economists pay special attention to one. Sabi ng mga ekonomista, the price of the good or service. Bottom line, presyo ang pinagtatalunan natin dito. Given the values of all the other variables that affect demand, a higher price tends to reduce the quantity people demand. And the lower price tends to increase it. Diba? Low of demand. So dapat kilala natin yung ating customers. Sino ba ang bibili ng ating product? Sino ba ang magpe-patronize ng ating mga services? Sino-sino ba yung customers na target natin? So, unang tanong na dapat nating sagutin, who are your target customers and how do they behave? What is the profile of an ideal customer for your business? So, in a paragraph or two, clearly i-define natin ang ating ideal customer. Ano ba yung pangangailangan nila? Ano ba yung gusto nilang bilhin? Ano ba yung buying patterns? Ito ba linggo-linggo, araw-araw, buwan-buwan, every 2 months, every 6 months, every 1 year? Gaano ba kadalas silang bumili? And motivations to buy. Bakit? Ano ba yung nagmo-motivate sa kanila for buying? So this process will help you to develop a mental image of your ideal customers. So pwede nating himay-himayin yan. Ano ba ang kanilang age range? Ito ba para sa mga youth? Ito ba para sa mga senior citizens? Ayan. So age range. Sino ba? Ano ba yung target natin? Gender. Specific ba tayo sa male or female? Or pareho? Pwede nating maging customer. Ethnicity. Ano ba yung ethnic background nila? So mahalaga ba ito? Education. Kailangan ba may pinag-aralan sila para mag-patronize ng ating produkto? So kung wala naman, hindi immaterial. Location. Saan ba sila located? Sila ba'y taga sa ating barangay? Sila ba'y taga sa ating city? Sila ba'y taga region na kung saan tayo nagbilong? Or sila ba'y dayo? Sila ay turista. They are from different locations. So we have to establish sino ba ang ating unang itatarget. Siyempre, yung nando sa vicinity nyo, kung saan yung inyong physical store. So ngayon, kung meron kayong, for example, may online kayo, then lawakan, mas malawak ngayon ang location. Pwede kayong makabenta sa kabilang city, di ba? Sa kabilang region. Ano ba yung lifestyle nila? Mahilig ba sila mag-shopping? Mahilig impulsive buyer ba sila? Ano ba yung kapag nagustuhan nila, bibili na sila? Ano ba yung lifestyle nila? Healthy living na hindi natin sila basta-basta pwedeng i-offer ng kung ano-anong mga foods. Kailangan vegetable ba yan? Kailangan halal or whatever. Ano ba ang lifestyle nila? Ano ang value nila? Do they value quality? It doesn't matter kung mahal man siya, basta high quality ang material, high quality ang product. Or ano ba ang value nila? They value quantity over quality. They value price over quality. Di bali ng hindi kagandahan, basta mura. Or hindi bali ng hindi original, basta yung presyo ng isang original, pwede akong bumili ng tatlong katulad. Di ba? At ano ba yung mga interests nila? Kailangan nating maintindihan ano ba ang ating mga ideal customers. So only then you can proceed. Kung hindi mo alam kung sino yung pagbebentahan mo, walang direksyon ang iyong business. Okay. So sabi natin, ang isang determinant ay ang income. So ito, according to the Philippine Statistics Authority, total annual family expenditure by major expenditure group, by income class, and by region in 2018. So makikita natin yan, ito lahat ng income. Pero dinivide din siya, yung mga less than 40,000 ang household income, 40 to 60, 60 to 100, 100 to 250, 250 to 500, and over 500. Ayan. So tingnan mo natin sa all income class. Yung 105 million, so in millions. So may tatlo pa ito, may 6 pang zero. So, billion, billion, trillion, wala. So, 5,905,688 million. Yan. Yan ang ginagastos, in-expend sa buong Pilipinas naman ito. Whole Philippines. Ngayon, ito yung percent. Ano ang 100% ang total na lahat sa buong Pilipinas? Ano ang pinakamalaking gastusin? Ayan, 42.6, which is total food expenditure sa pagkain. So kaya kung ang business nyo ay restaurant, ayan, may 42% pala ng income ng mga tao ay pinambibili nila ng pagkain. Ngayon yung sa all income. Tingnan naman natin sa less than 40,000, yung kumikita ng less than 60,000, yung kumikita ng less than 100,000, yung kumikita ng less than 250,000. Halos lahat sila 50%. In fact, ito, 58%. So napakalaking market. Bukod sa expenditure, yan ang ating available. Saan pa napupunta? Siyempre, nagbabayad ng house, nagbabayad ng electricity, water, gas, nagbabayad ng transportation to and from the work. At yung the rest ay hati-hati siya. Pwedeng clothing and footwear, pwedeng furnishings and household maintenance, pwede din sa health nila, mga 2.5, 2.3, 2.7, communication, pang cellphone, load, education, ayan, tsaka special family occasion and other expenditures. So makikita natin dito, nahahati kung saan ba napupunta yung kinikita ng ating mga household. So, ito ay Philippines. Pero since ito ay by region, hindi ko na sinama. Kung kayo taga-NCR, meron din yung annual family expenditure sa NCR. Kung sa Region 1, sa Region 2, Region 3, meron yan by region. So, puntahan nyo na lang, depende sa inyong business location. So, isang paraan para makita natin kung gaano ang ating market, ayan, they are expending this much. Okay. Tingnan din natin. According to sector and according to industry. Okay. So, ang top 5 industry groups of wholesale and retail. Yan. Repair of motorcycle, vehicles, and motorcycles. Yan. So, there is a total of 8.6 trillion revenue kinita ng mga businesses at 8.0 trillion ang kanilang expense. Ito yung umiikot na pera. Ibig sabihin, in terms of retail, wholesale and retail sector, 8.6 trillion ang kanilang revenue. Yan yung nabibenta nila. So yung market nila ay willing to pay for this much. So ano ba yung industry ng wholesale retail? Meron diyang retail sale of other goods in specialized store. Retail sale in non-specialized store. Other specialized wholesale. Retail sale of automotive fuel in specialized stores. Retail sale of other household equipment in specialized store. So, wholesale and retail trade. Ito, yung mga bentahan ng mga specialized daw eh. So, Benson, Ansons, SM departments, SM appliances kasi household equipment. Yung mga special store. So, retail sale of automotive fuel. Ito naman siguro sa Petron, sa Shell, sa Caltex. Ano pa ba yung iba-iba pa? Kasi fuel and specialized store. Ito tayo sa retail sale in non-specialized and other goods in specialized store. Ito yung mga nasa department store, clothing, ayan, basta retail at other specialized wholesale. Ibig sabihin, sa retail sale of other goods, 1.4 trillion ang revenue, ang kinikita. Pero gumagastos sila ng 1.3 trillion. Bakit? Masama pa ba yung 0.1 trillion or 100 billion pesos? Diba? So yung net income nila ng 100 billion, nakikinabang din ang gobyerno natin doon. Kasi to the form of taxes na binabayaran ng mga establishments nitong industry na ito. Okay? So hanapin nyo kung wholesale retail, ano yung wholesale and retail. Yung mga sa inyo, nasa specialized stores or nasa non-specialized store. Ano pa bang industriya ang pwede yung industry where you could belong? Ito, accommodation and food service. So there is total revenue of 841 billion na revenue. Yan yung kanilang sales. At ang kanilang expense ay 725.9 billion. So magkano ang net nito? 73, 74, 75, 76, 91, 2, 3, 84. 11 billion. Masama pa ba yung 11 billion na net income? So if you will like to look at the extent of the market, magkakano ba yung market? Magkakano ba yung gumagalaw na pera dito? Ayan. So, restaurants and mobile food services accounts 621 billion pesos. Short-term accommodation, yung mga hotels, 162 billion. Beverage serving activities, ang mga bars siguro ito, bars, etc. Yeah. Even catering and other food services. So 14 billion catering and other accommodation. Yan. So makikita nyo rito, titingnan nyo, ano ba yung market ko dyan? Saan ba ako belong? So marami pa. Ito naman, administrative and support services. Call centers. Ito ang ambag ng call centers. Activities of employment or placement agencies. Temporary employment agency activities. Private security. Business support. Yan yung kanilang mga amounts na kanilang revenue. Ibig sabihin, yan yung umiikot na pera. So, nagkakaroon sila ng revenue, gumagastos sila. And some of them are sa transportation and storage. passenger air transport, ito siya ang pinakamalaking revenue at 291 billion pesos. Ito ang kanyang expense. Susunod, support activities for transportation. Ito rin sa mga barko, sea and coastal water transport, yung mga roro, yung mga bangka-bangka, ayan yung kanilang industriya. Other land transportation, courier activities, o yung LBC, Lalamove, Grab, delivery, lahat yan. Yan, kung saan yung inyong business, diyan kayo. Makikita nyo kung magkakano ang ambag ng industry na kinabibilangan nyo. Okay, so that is all about demand. Demand, ano ba yung need ng tao? Ilan ba ang kailangan nila? Gaano karami ba? Now we go on supply. So, in terms of supply, it says, supply is a fundamental economic concept that describes the total amount of a specific good or service that is available to consumers. Kung ang demand, ano ba yung gusto namin bilhin? Pag sinabing supply, ito naman yung isusupply namin. Ito yung mga goods and services na available sa consumers. So supply can relate to the amount available at a specific price or the amount available across a range of prices if displayed on the graph. This relates closely to the demand for a good or service at a specific price. All else being equal, the supply provided by producers will rise if the price rises because all firms look to maximize profits. Pag sinabi natin supply, ito ay sa punto de vista ng manufacturer, ng producer, ng supplier, yung nagbebenta ng goods or services. So, sabi dito, kapag ang presyo daw ng goods or services ay tumataas, syempre gustong mag-supply ng manufacturers or ng producers. Mas marami tayong kikitain. So, maraming supply. Diba? Kasi mataas ang presyo. Yan. Which brings us to the law of supply. Ano ba ang law of supply? Like the law of demand, the law of supply demonstrates the quantities sold at a specific price. So presyo na naman ang pinag-uusapan nito. This means that the higher the price, the higher the quantity supplied. Kung yung kanina, the higher the price, the lower the demand. Ito ngayon, in terms of supply, the higher the price, the higher the quantity supplied. Bakit? From the seller's perspective, each additional unit's opportunity cost tends to be higher and higher. Producers supply more at a higher price because the higher selling price justifies the higher opportunity cost of each additional unit sold. In simple terms, mas marami tayong mabenta, mas marami kikitain kasi mataas ang ating price. So ngayon naman, since we are talking about supply, we have to identify sino ba yung competitors ko dito sa aking barangay, dito sa aking community, sino ang competitors ko dito sa aking city, sa region. So what is the profile of a typical competitor for your business? So in a paragraph or two, clearly define a typical competitor. Ano ba ang size niya? Ilan ba ang market share niya? Unique value proposition, strengths and weaknesses. So this process will help you to develop a mental image of your typical competitor. So again, mag-table tayo, isa-isahin nyo, himay-himayin natin. Magbigay kayo ng 5 competitors nyo. Kailan ba sila na-establish? Sila ba'y matagal na sa industriya o kapapasok lang nila na pwede rin nating kompetensyahin? Yan. Gaano ba kalaki in terms of number of staff, in terms of kunyari, restaurant, in terms of seating capacity, ilan ba yung kaya nilang i-accommodate? Yan. Market share. Ilang percent ba ng market? So kanina, tinignan natin yung demand, yung mga expenditures, yung revenue. So out of that revenue, ilan yung kanilang share? So kung yung ating market ay 100% na kumikita, for example, na 100 billion, yung ating competitor na dito sa aking community, ilang percent doon ang market share. Ano-ano ba ang value offered to customers? So ano ba yung unique na meron sila na nagugustuhan ng customers? High quality ba? Imported ba yung mga ginamit nila? Mababa ang presyo? Or pang elitista ang presyo? Maganda ba ang kanilang customer service? Kasi we have to learn from them. So kung sila ay napapatronize because of the value, well, dapat meron din tayong ganong value na ino-offer sa customers. Ano ba ang kanilang strengths? Ano ba ang kanilang weaknesses? We have to understand them. Now, according to 2017 Survey of Philippine Business and Industry, kilalanin natin kung sino-sino ba yung ating mga kakompetensya. So, sabi ng Philippine Statistics Authority, nagkaroon sila ng survey ng Philippine Business and Industry. Sa buong Pilipinas, there are 224,520 establishments. Okay? So, ito in hundreds. So, ang pinakamalaki ay ang G. So, ang sector, ginawa lang sector A, B, C hanggang S. So, tingnan natin yung unang sector, A, pertains to agriculture, forestry, and fishing. Yung ikalawa, mining and quarrying. Yung C, which is the third, ay nasa manufacturing business. D, electricity, gas, steam, and air conditioning supply. Letter E is water supply, sewerage, waste management, and remediation activities. Yung F ay nasa construction industry. Yung G, ano kaya yung G na maraming establishment? Ayun. Wholesale and retail trade. Repair of motor vehicles and motorcycles. Kaya pala, napakalaki ng kanilang revenue and expenses kasi sila yung may pinakamaraming establishment. So, dagdagan natin ito ng dalawa. Dalawa kasi in 100. So, 2 101,100. So, all over the Philippines naman ito. Then, yung H, transportation and storage. I, accommodation and food service activities. O, kanina, alam na natin kung ano-ano ba yung nasa accommodation, mga hotel, mga restaurants, mga catering. Yan. So, sila ang number 2 na madami. So, lagyan natin ito ng 28,900 ang establishment. The rest, ano ba yung P? So, J, information and communication, financial insurance activities, L, real estate, professional, scientific, and technical activities, and administrative and support services. P, mataas din to, education. Q is human health and social work activities. R, arts, entertainment, and recreation. And then, other service activities. So, dito makikita nyo, saang industriya ba ako? Saang sektor ako nasasama? Yan. Kasi from there, malalaman nyo sa buong Pilipinas, ganito pala karami ang competitor. Kapag alam mo na sa buong Pilipinas, syempre, ma-identify mo rin yung sarili mong community. Moving on. So, according pa rin sa Survey of Philippine Business Industry, in terms of the total establishments ng wholesale and retail, ito naman yung percentage distribution. Okay, makikita natin, out of that 101,136 establishment, 30.7% ay retail sale of other goods in specialized store. Kung halo-halo na ito, other goods na ito, halo-halo. Merong clothing, merong siguro ditong footwear, meron ditong kitchen appliances, meron ditong mga kurtina, tela-tela, lahat na ito. Followed by 13% ng retail sale of other household equipment. Ayan, yung mga appliances and household equipment. 13.4. Food, beverage, and tobacco, 8.9. So from this percentage, ma-identify natin kung ilang establishment sa buong Pilipinas ang ating competitor. Pero this is 2017. Yan. So in terms yung marami ng mga nagbebenta ng mga motor, nagbebenta at nagsiservice. Diba? Ayan, sale, maintenance, and repair of motorcycles and related parts and accessories. Retail sale of information and communications equipment in specialized store. Yan, sa Gilmore, sa mga computer shop, o yan. Sa SM, yung ano ba ito, technology, kanilang cyber technology area. And all other industries related to wholesale and retail. So from here, makikita natin ilan bang establishments. And then of course, from our local, from our community, makikita rin natin kung sino-sino, ma-identify natin kung sino ba yung ating mga competitors. So pag-aaralan natin sila. Ito naman, accommodation and food service. Napakaraming establishment ng restaurant and mobile food service activities. Hindi lang ito may mga pwesto. Mobile, yung mga booth, kahit siguro ambulant na ikaw, kahit yung, alam mo yung naglalako ka, yung may, ewan kung napunta ka sa Baklaran, meron yung mga carts na kino-convert nila sa pagiging stall, food stall. Pwede rin itong yung mga nasa mga, yung mobile restaurants sa Makati, yung mga nasa jeep. Yan. So ito yun, na napakarami. So almost 74% ang total establishments. So kahit saan makakakita ka ng restaurant and mobile food service. So kung ikaw, ang iyong business ay restaurant, yan, you belong to this sector. Short-term accommodation, hotels, motels, apartels, ayun yun. Beverage serving activities, event catering, konti lang yun, 1.6% lang. So, parang 28 plus 14, 20, 30, about 4,000. Marami rin. And other accommodation. So, dito makikita natin, ilan ba yung ating competitors? Gaano ba karami sa buong Pilipinas? Ito naman sa Administrative and Support Service, ayan. Employment agency, travel agency, call centers, ayan. Private security. So 6,466 lang ang establishment sa buong Pilipinas. Ang huli ay itong transportation and storage. Support activities for transportation, mga 40%. Other land transportation, transport via buses, sea and coastal water transport, warehousing, and other industry groups. Dito sa transportation and storage sector. Okay, so let us summarize what we've been discussing and what I have been presenting. So pag sinabing demand, refers to how many people want those goods. In terms of supply, refers to the amount of goods that are available. So when supply of a product goes up, review tayo, supply, taas, the price of a product goes down. Supply, kapag marami, bumababa ang presyo, at ang demand ay nagra-rise. So, ang law of demand, kapag presyo mababa, tumataas ang demand. So, kailan na bababa ang presyo? Kapag marami supply. At some point, too much of a demand for the product will cause the supply to diminish. Ngayon, dumami na masyado naman ang demand. So, yung ating supply nadidiminish hanggang sa kaunti na lang. Ano naman ang epekto nito? Kapag konti na lang, as a result, prices will rise. The product will then become too expensive. Ano mangyayari? Demand will go down at that price. So, ang demand, bababa. So, anong dapat? Supply and demand should reach an equilibrium. Kailangan equal sila. If 100 ang demand, kailangan may 100 din na supply. Yun ang equilibrium. Walang sobra, walang kulang. So the amount of goods being supplied is the same as the amount demanded and resources are allocated efficiently. Ayan. This is theoretical, no? hindi naman talaga natin na maabot yung equilibrium. Pero at least dapat doon naglalaro ang demand and supply. Kasi nakaka-apekto ito sa presyo. Paano ba ina-apply ang law of supply? Okay, example. Corn crops are very plentiful over the course of the year. And there is more corn than people would normally buy. So napakarami nating supply ng corn. So to get rid of the excess supply, kasi nga hindi nabibenta lahat, farmers need to lower the price of corn and thus the price is driven down for everyone. So bumababa ang presyo para na lang mabenta lahat. Pwede siyang buy one, take one para lang maubos at hindi mabulok, hindi masayang. There is a drought and very few strawberries are available. Kaya lang, more people want strawberries than there are berries available. Maraming demand kaysa sa supply. So pag nagkataong ganon, the price of strawberries increases dramatically. A huge wave of new and skilled workers come to a city and all of the workers are willing to take jobs at low wage. So in this case, kulang. Because there are more workers than there are available jobs, so marami ang demand kaysa sa supply, the excess supply of workers drives wages downward. So itong mga unskilled labor, pumapayag sila na mas mababang presyo. What about the law of demand? A popular artist dies, and thus he obviously will be producing no more art. So the demand for his art increases substantially as people want to purchase the few pieces that exist. So low ang supply, pagiging low na ang supply niya, ibig sabihin tataas ang presyo, pero tataas din ang demand. Kasi konti na lang yung supply. A cultural fad item that was all the rage for a period of time falls out of favor and is no longer cool. Hindi na siya uso. Ibig sabihin, bihira na ngayon ang demand niya. Konti na lang ang demand. So demand for the item falls dramatically as it is no longer the must-have item of the season. A new restaurant opens up in town and gets great reviews. So, but there are only 12 tables in the restaurant. So, everyone wants to get a reservation. Ibig sabihin, ano ang result? Demand for reservations goes up. Yan. O paano ba ngayon, pag-isipin natin, how the law of supply and demand works? Paano sila gumagana? Ganito lang yan. In terms of price, a company sets the price of its product at 100 pesos. Walang bumibili. No one wants the product. So the price is lowered to 90. So demand for the product increases now at the new lower price point and the company begins to make money and a profit. So yung 100 na presyo, walang bumili. Binabaan ng 90, ayan. So gusto na ng mga tao. The company could lower the price to 50. So to increase demand even more. So half the price, 50% discount. But the increase in the number of people buying the product would not make up for the money lost when the price point was lowered from 90 to 50 pesos. Ibig sabihin, malay natin, baka yung kapital natin, yung puhunan natin, 60 pesos. O, dilugi na tayo. O maaaring 50 pesos, break even. Pero meron pa tayong ibang pagkakagastusan, operating costs. Okay. So the company leaves the price set at 90 pesos. Bakit? Because that is the point at which supply and demand are in equilibrium. Raising the price to 100 would reduce demand and make the company less profitable. Konti ang bumibili o kung may bumili man, konti rin ang profit. While lowering the price dito sa 50 would not increase demand enough to make up the money loss. So, ganyan dapat ang analysis natin ng supply and demand. Kailangan balance sila. Okay? So, all of the tables, all of the figures that I have presented, I got it from the Philippine Statistics Authority. So, you can visit them, www.psa.gov.ph. So, lahat halos ng statistics na kung anong gusto nyong tingnan. Kunyari, population. Gusto nyong makita ang population ng inyong city. Punta kayo dyan. So, dyan yung makikita ano ba ang distribution in terms of age, household income, kung ano-ano pa. Nandiyan yung sa population. So, labor and employment. Gusto nyo makita. So, marami kang bibili ng produkto ko. Tingnan natin ang employment. Marami bang employed o mas marami ang unemployed? Yan. Income and expenditure. Magkakano ba ang household income? Dito sa aming barangay. Sa isang bahay, isang household, binubuo ni nanay, tatay, kuya, ate, tsaka ni bunso, magkakano ang kanilang combined income? Kasi yun ang kanilang gagastusin. Poverty, incidence, gender, education, and health. So dito rin naman for economic. So macroeconomic accounts, agriculture, forestry, and fishing. Industry, dito ko nakuha yung some of the statistics, services, trade, prices and related indices, at saka other economic indicators. GDP, national gross product, gross domestic product, and everything. Okay, so that ends my lecture for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. I will be answering all your questions in a while. So for the meantime, thank you, keep safe, and goodbye.